What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I am Christopher Bean with Tactical Advantage, and today we're going to talk about strong side carry and muzzle discipline.
The Filster Enigma is a revolutionary holster chassis system that completely divorces your holster and gun from your clothing, giving you unprecedented concealment whether in sweatpants or formal wear. It attaches to your AIWB holster via the wing and allows incredible flexibility for your concealed carry. Get yours at the link below.
Today, I'd like to talk about some common errors I see in reholstering and some risks that you might want to take into account and mitigate with strong side carry. So what we have today is a Glock 19. This gun has been rendered inert, and I have a bore sight laser inside it to kind of demonstrate some things. So I want to clarify some things I'm going to do in this video. I do not suggest you do, but I'm doing it for demonstrative purposes just to help you guys understand what your muzzle's doing during the draw process, during reholstering, and how that can present some risks to your safety. So again, if you see me kind of flag myself, it's 100% to give you guys a demonstration and let you see kind of what I'm seeing. So the safety Nazis understand that this gun can't go bang. So what I've got today is a Bravo concealment strong side holster. I've set up a little thing right here, so hopefully you guys can see that laser kind of pointing at it, and just kind of run through some things, because we always hear the incessant argument of appendix carry versus strong side versus small of the back versus all of these things, that one is inherently better than others or one is less risky than others. I think at the end of the day, they all present risks and they all have ways to mitigate said risk. So first things first, I want to talk about reholstering strong side and what I see a lot. And to quantify that, I see a lot of shooters. I see a lot of shooters running appendix. I see a lot of shooters running strong side. And some of the things I'm going to demonstrate today are quite prevalent that many people do. And you too probably do it from time to time, even if you have a very well procedurally built reholster process or draw process. It's just something to kind of think about. I'm not saying one is better than the other. I'm just saying it exists, and hopefully that helps some people be a little bit safer. But first things first, so we've got the holster on relatively tight. I've got my shirt tucked in just so I don't block anything. And what we can see right here, especially if I go that way, and that's the center of bore. So if you had a discharge while this gun's in the holster, though not likely, but if you had one, do not think for a second you're gonna come out of that clean. It might not enter deeply into flesh, but it's going to cause some burns and some other things like that. Probably break the skin. In the very worst case scenario, you'll have a channel wound going down your leg. But again, that just exists. Guns going off in holsters isn't really a thing. I could insert a joke here, but I'm not gonna. But the biggest, riskiest thing I see is during reholstering, what people tend to do, and we have the laser, is they stand straight and they fish that gun into the holster. So hopefully you can see right there, oof, that whole time you've got a muzzle orientation going in this direction. Super not good. Or what they do is they won't shift their legs at all, and they'll come like this, and we can see for sure what's happening there. So that same thing that people are trying to risk the inner thigh from appendix, or trying to avoid the inner thigh potential wound path, that still exists right here. So you're talking from that, you're getting into some meat, some artery, some things that you do not want to have a GSW in. So some quick mitigation tactics for that is just kick your hip out. and then pay attention to the orientation of the muzzle as you're going in. So if we kick our hip out, we still use our white paper here, as we go in, clear, 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 clear. So now we have a very small potential contact path, very small, no big issue. And that is literally this. You're doing that. People forget that a lot. And the fishing from here is just something you should avoid at all cost. That is not going to be a good day from a longevity perspective. So again, try and go as vertical as you can, a little bit of hip thrust to the right or the left, depending on your orientation, and that kind of mitigates most of that. The other thing I see is when drawing from strong side, there's a tendency to do this. So we have, as they're coming out, I hope I didn't just flash that laser right into my camera lens. So hopefully you can see that. And if exaggerated, you come up into the abdomen. So again, potential risks that you might want to mitigate. So that's why I always plant this foot a little bit farther back. And then you have maybe that, but that can be avoided as well coming out of the holster. So these are things to kind of just pay attention to and be mindful of. What are the common errors when people get shot or shoot themselves, holstering or actually presenting the firearm? These things exist, and very rarely do people put any thought into their technique avoiding that. They're more worried about speed, more worried about everything going perfect with the gun being on target. They're not worried about self-inflicted gunshot wound. It's worth thinking about. So the next thing that I think is kind of important to understand is every carry position has risks. I'm not a proponent of any. I know what I prefer, but I don't try and say, hey person or hey student, you must do it this way or you must do it that way. Your lifestyle, your clothing choices, your body type all play into that, and they're your choices alone. But I think it's a fallacy for people to go, well, this method presents a higher level of safety than this method. I don't know that that's true. Also, what I see a lot of times where I would want someone to be super careful, if they're carrying strong side and they're clearing a garment, that's how easy it is for a t-shirt to come in contact. So people are lazy about their clear, and they'll do this, they won't see this area of the garment, and it'll get caught up as you reholster. And if you're looking, you notice we do not see that red dot on our vinyl right there. That red dot's sitting right here on us. And yet we have an obstruction with our trigger due to our cover garment. So especially if we have a tendency to go inboard with the muzzle as we're reholstering, man, you're asking for trouble. You are asking for trouble. And what I find more prevalent in strong side is the clearing the cover garment for the reholster tends to be something that quite often happens because you're clearing here, but you're not paying attention to this. Those are things you need to watch out for real. So hopefully this helps a little bit. Not saying there's anything wrong with this carry position. I just want to make sure we're not choosing a position that we think provides more safety when in all actuality it doesn't. If you're going to carry a gun on your person, often, even a little, but often, you need to think about these things and understand where does that muzzle need to be at all times, and especially in the most prone to issue time of actually presenting and reholstering. So that's it for this one. I'm going to make another one on appendix to address some of that. And hopefully you guys can kind of see that. That way you guys can battle in the comments on which is better. But really, again, I want to clarify, I am not a proponent of either or. I think they all have things you need to address. So with that, I will see you guys next time. Appreciate it very much.